Greetings and welcome to the November 23rd edition of The Pulse. I'm Sammy Ward. This week on The Pulse, we will find time to check in with Manchester students to gauge their reaction to ending daylight savings time and spotlight a student who has redefined the status quo. We will have these stories and much more on this episode of The Pulse. Every year as we turn back the clocks, a common question arises. Is daylight savings actually beneficial, or is it causing more harm than we realize? Dennis Flores explores as we adjust to dark afternoons and frosty temps.
Daylight savings. A rising debate in the world is being questioned, with the opinions of the government being implemented into action. As more questions are being asked by students and residents, we take a look at opinions in the hallways and around town. What is daylight savings in your opinion?
It's kind of frustrating because you catch up on sleep one day and then you're like behind later. So
daylight savings is something we've just always sort of had, always done. Just the clocks either fall back or move ahead. You get either some extra hours at night or extra hour in the morning.
It's a big unnecessary, and for folks with dogs, it's especially unnecessary. It's very difficult for dogs, and I imagine for kids too.
I don't particularly care for it. I like the extra time in the spring, but I don't like the short hours in the winter and the fall.
Do you feel like daylight savings should be implemented in our future, or the government should get rid of it, and why?
We should get rid of it. I mean, it's kind of outlived its usefulness. At this point, the fact that it's 5 o'clock and it's pitch black out, it's just doesn't really make sense anymore to me.
I think we should just stick with that and not have to turn our clocks back and have very dark evenings. It feels like it's 10 o'clock at night when it's only 6 o'clock.
I think it should keep going. I like it. I like when it gets darker sooner.
I don't think it should be implemented just because it seems like it's a hassle. Everybody is kind of off for a little bit.
So I kind of want the government to get rid of it because it's very confusing when you have a relationship with someone like our son who lives in Japan. I can never keep track of because they don't change their clocks.
I think the government should get rid of it because it's dumb and it makes it dark at 4 p.m. and it shouldn't be dark that early.
I sort of like it the way it is. I don't know if that sounds super old, but that's sort of my answer.
Honestly, I think for the country as a whole, we should probably get rid of it. I think it's kind of stupid. I don't know what it's used for, but I like it in the fall.
As Manchester has its own opinion on this rising debate, we can continue to search for more answers and learn more about daylight savings at timeanddate.com. From The Pulse, this has been Dennis Flores reporting.
While you might not be able to count on the clock staying constant, one autumn ritual seems firmly here to stay: the fall show. Jeremy Zalora visits with director Kelly Monroe to see all of the hard work and talent that graces Bailey Auditorium each year.
The Sock and Buskin Drama Club is Manchester High School's very own theater club. Today, I'm joined with Kelly Monroe, English teacher and current director, in order to get some insight into the long-running program. What made you decide to be director of the drama club and all that?
I have always been involved in drama clubs growing up. I did community theater. I performed with my middle school and my high school, and so when I became a teacher, it just kind of became I always knew that becoming a teacher, I wanted to get involved in the drama club at the school.
So what is sort of the process that you go through to put on a show? What are the beginning steps, and how does that go until the end for where you actually put on the show?
So the first thing that you have to do is you have to get the rights to a show, which sometimes aren't necessarily available or they're a little bit hard to get depending on the show that you select. So you have to apply to the company that owns the rights. They have to approve it. You have to send them a check before you can even advertise what the show is going to be. Then it's rehearsals every day, 3 to 5, until we, have it down. A week of dress rehearsals and tech rehearsals, and all-day tech rehearsal the Saturday before the show, where we're here from basically 10 to 10, and then it's opening night.
I myself, as you know, have been in some of these shows, and I've had quite a few pretty good memories. What have been some of your great memories through directing?
I think the one thing that sticks out to me the most right now is last year, coming back from COVID, we hadn't done a musical in 3 years, and we did Beauty and the Beast, and I just have a very strong, distinct memory of that opening night. The curtain came down after that first show, and I was sitting back in the auditorium watching the show, and I just burst into tears. I was so happy and so proud of everyone, and so glad that we could bring theater back to MHS that it just was, that is a memory that will live with me for a very long time.
I'm standing here on the set of Sock and Buskin's latest show, Radium Girls. If you happen to miss the show, there's always the spring musical, which this year is going to be Footloose. This has been Jeremy Zalora from The Pulse.
Miss Monroe's hard work and dedication did not go unnoticed with Radium Girls. Well done. We now go from congratulations to a hearty thank you as Paige Aitken travels to Manchester Memorial Hospital to see how the town honors our veterans.
As Manchester residents gather on American Legion Drive on November 11th each year, they come together to celebrate and recognize the many veterans that have fought for our country.
I think it's a reminder of what others have done to serve them, not only our country, but Manchester.
I was asked by the choral director, Miss Rosa, if I would sing at this, I think in August or beginning of September. I think it's a great way to honor our veterans in Manchester because we have a lot of them. It was kind of a personal connection for me to sing at this because it honors veterans and my dad is in the Army.
Not only do veterans hold this day special to them, others find comfort in it as well. Manchester has done a great job at showing appreciation for our local veterans. Next year, make sure to come down to this parade and ceremony to show your appreciation. From The Pulse, this has been Paige Aitken reporting.
The parade attracted many people across town, and so will another fall tradition, the All New England's cross-country meet. Mia Gilbert, a junior at MHS, is a student standout, racing to represent Manchester.
By the end of every countdown, runner Mia Gilbert is on her way to the finish line.
There's been a lot of great runners here at MHS, and watching them succeed kind of makes me want to succeed as well. It was exciting. When I crossed the finish line, the first person I saw was O'Reilly, and I asked him if I made it, and he said yes, and so that was just an exciting moment. And I got 25th, and only 25 made it to New England, so the last 100 was definitely nerve-wracking, because at any point it could have been taken away.
As one of the first girls in years at Manchester High School to make it to the New England Cross Country Championships, Mia's hard work and preparation has not gone unnoticed. Mia is lucky enough to have her peers to support her alongside her coaches. Teammate Jillian Orzak's support is guiding.
I've learned from Mia as a runner that you always have to keep up a positive attitude during your races and during practice because she always keeps up a positive attitude. She always has a strong mentality, and she's taught me to not get negative, because if you get negative, you're not going to do well in your races. She paced me once, and she helped me get a PR, which helped me have a lot of success later in the season.
Participating in New England's on Saturday, November 12th, Mia proved her true motivation, competing against others her age. As Mia sprints into her future races and preparations, we know her positive attitude will pace her as she goes. From The Pulse, this has been Summer Garrepy reporting.
Mia's passion, hard work, and tenacity are something to be proud of. Congrats to Mia on her amazing race at New England's. Well, Manchester, those are all the stories we have for you this week. Make sure to follow our Instagram page at MHS Television, check out our website, mhstelevision.com, and email Mr. Larson at b11elars@mpspride.org with any story ideas. I'm Sammy Ward, and this has been The Pulse.